So here we are at a cycling conference, and we're about to talk about waterways, which seems like a bit of a stretch, but I'm really happy to introduce Brenda Wood from the TRENT SEVERN Waterway Trail Town project, and she's going to explain the whole concept of trail towns, of which the most famous, and I think that the originator of the idea, was the Great Allegheny Passage, and it's been an amazing economic development project in the U.S. So, Brenda, welcome.
Thank you very much. My favorite topic, trail towns. So I'm very pleased to be here. I don't want to quash your dreams, but I planned a 10-year plan. We're in year 7 of 10. Ask me about signage. We're not there yet, guys. But by 10 years, we will have partnered with Parks Canada and our municipalities, and we will have signage in the ground. So, is this an original idea, TRENT SEVERN Trail Towns? No. Has anyone heard of R&D? Rob and duplicate? Not research and development, the different one. Rob and duplicate, that's exactly what we did. We robbed the idea from the Great Allegheny Passage, the gap. Now, what is a trail town? And people ask me about that. Here's the easy way to sum it up. A trail town is a vibrant destination where people come together. It's a place where trail users can venture off, hiking, biking, equestrian, or water trails to enjoy the amenities and unique heritage of the community, which benefits the town economically and socially. So that sums it up, and that was just a comment from the Florida Office of Greenways and Trails. Now, we looked at the community development opportunities because everyone, in 2017, we were in a room just like this. We had business owners, we had some municipal members, we had trail users. We brought everybody together and said, what do you think about this idea? Because the number one thing that we found is this, folks, is ground up, not top down. So as the regional tourism organization, if we tried to stuff this idea down people's throats without their support, it would go nowhere in a hurry. So we needed to test the water to see if these communities were even interested in this concept. Would they support the idea? Not financially. Would they just support it? So we talked about the community development opportunities, the business development, keeping businesses in operation with retention, expanding it, looking at attraction for services to increase visitation. So who did we get involved? Food service providers. Everybody eats. Restaurants, coffee shops, bakeries, retailers. Everybody loves to shop. Accommodations, people staying overnight, we're looking for places. Rentals and outfitters, so bike rentals, fishing gear rentals, paddlecraft rentals, and then tours and experiences. Some people wanted guided tours in the area. They wanted to know the culinary, the history, the nature, that sort of thing. And then we ran into services as well, so transportation. So I've got some luggage, but I'm cycling, so is there a van that will take all of my stuff to the next stop? So a shuttle service of type, child minding, pet sitting, so lots of opportunity there. And what it meant to be a trail town. So they were towns along the trail. The town embraces the trail. A trail economy then exists, and the trail becomes an integral part of the community's identity. So some of the trail programs we looked at through the states, there's an abundance of them. A few of them up here, canal towns, Kentucky, Appalachian Trail. We took the idea where the Great Allegheny Passage is 150 miles of an old rail trail from Pittsburgh to Cumberland, Washington. We took that concept and put it on the water because we have 387 kilometers of Canada's National Historic Site, the TRENT SEVERN Waterway. So didn't have a land trail, but we wanted to take that concept and put it on the water. So we started looking at communities along the waterway. We had to develop a criteria because not everybody fit the model to be a trail town. You had to have a downtown core. So we used the municipal definition of a town. So it meant they had services. So some of the little hamlets we weren't very popular with, but they do see benefits coming from it. So in 2016, we hired one of the experts on trail towns, Amy Camp. If you've heard of Amy, she's written a book, which I brought 3 copies of today, that I'm going to let the guys share it. We use them actually as, believe it or not, we set up a little library with some of these books and we let people sign them out. Sign it out, read it, bring it back, let somebody else use it. But we hired Amy and we started our consultations. And then we did our community assessments. We did an actual walking tour. So we got people in the community after one of these sessions, gave them a clipboard with a little sheet on it and said, go forth, check out everything on this list and mark it down. Does your community have it? Bring it back. Let's, calculate and look at and bring a report for what the community, what it offered and what it needed. So it helped identify. Then we developed a program strategy. In 2018, we did our rollout and we did 2 visits to the Great Allegheny Passage. And I can't stress this enough. If you can do it, get some people together, go down to the Great Allegheny Passage. I'll share the itinerary that we put together, but we brought 4 people at a time, took a van, drove down, did the Great Allegheny Passage, and the information we grabbed from those communities, some of which were 500 people in a community that had no overnight accommodation when they started 10 years earlier, that now had 11 accommodation providers, that now had outfitters, that had more restaurants, more retail, so the community said, we saw it firsthand. And then we did our launch in 2019. And talk about a great partner to have is Parks Canada, because of course they own the Waterway. They didn't chip in any money, in case anybody's looking, but they were a great partner to have to support our project. And then it developed a little bit more from there. We started doing brochures for each of the communities. We have 9. The 10th one, which is the City of Peterborough, is coming on board, and they'll be on board with us, and that's our final one next year. So we did some community brochures. We looked at getting volunteers in each of the communities together so that we could look at public art projects and just getting basic information done. We launched the program in 2019. In 2022-23, we have ancillary programs. So we did create a website, tswtrailtowns.ca, but then we started growing the program. Because again, the same thing with the Great Allegheny Passage, they have what they call a Trail Town Friendly Business Program. So we copied it. And it's our SEVERN Trail Town Friendly Business Program, but it's free for businesses, free marketing for them. And all we ask is that they give visitors a good experience when they come in. If they need a washroom to use, for Pete's sake, let them use the washroom. Give them some information on the community, make their visit an extraordinary one, and it's free marketing for them. So, and then we went with food. We now have a taste of the TRENT SEVERN program. So we opened it up to our entire region. We asked for any food or beverage provider, rename something that you already have, tie it into the Waterway, or create something new, and we market it as well. So all of those products. So here we are. Okay, looks similar. So we started out back in doing our consultations back in 2017. We went along the Great Allegheny Passage twice. And what I will say is I was very impressed with the amount of murals in each of the trail towns. There's an abundance of murals and a great pride of place for each of those communities. And the signage was phenomenal. So each of the towns had amazing signage. Some of them mentioned to us the mistake they made was listing the businesses. Because the businesses went out of business, your sign becomes redundant. So they gave us that hint that if they did it again, it would just be the icons that they would put. There's food and beverage, they wouldn't list the businesses. And again, like other people have pointed out, they had amenities for the cyclists. So they had those bike repair stations, they had water filling stations. And a lot of the businesses, I mean, little coffee shops would hang cycling decor outside just to invite people in. They had benches, they had bike racks. Our designation day, we brought Parks Canada, our local municipal leaders, our MPPs. That's Amy Camp there as well. And we launched the program. And then our brochures, so we now have 9 of them in our visitor center. Each of the trail towns has a brochure. And it's a basic brochure. I'm happy to email them to you if you want to see a copy. A little bit of a history about the community. It's just the basic things that people would want to know about the community. The dedicated website and social media. So we have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. tswtrailtowns.ca is our website. 9 communities are listed there. Trent Severn Trail Town friendly businesses are listed there. Taste of the Trent Severn is listed there. And also any of the videos that we do. So we've had a little bit of money. We've had some special guests and performers do some videos. They've gone into a community. They've done some shopping, some exploring, and all of that goes onto our website as well. So we did create a couple of logos for the program that we expanded. We have 63 culinary products under Taste of the Trent Severn. Lots of awesome craft breweries jumped on this. And then 54 businesses that are Trent Severn Trail Town friendly. And it's growing. And I'm going to say my 5 words of wisdom, because this is what I've learned. Start from the bottom. Build that strong foundation by getting residents, trail enthusiasts, businesses, and service groups involved. Create a Trail Town criteria checklist. And that's where the communities must meet to be able to participate in the program and stick to it. You bend it for one, you need to bend it for all. So take that visitor approach in communities when you're looking at them. We live in these communities. We don't see the stuff that an outsider coming in for the first time would see. So you need to put that new first-time visitor lens on when you're in the area. Are there sufficient amenities? If not, identify it. Is there pride of place? And that was evident along the Great Allegheny Passage. We saw it in every single community, that pride of place. They were pretty, there wasn't garbage laying around, everybody decorated, you know, to a limited extent, but still you can tell that there was a sense of pride. And play the long game, guys. Think 7 to 10 years for full development. I know you want to cash in on cyclotourism. It's there, but it's not going to happen 6 months from now. So play that longer game, get all your ducks in a row, because there is money out there, and you need it. I'm going to estimate I've spent close to, in the last 7-8 years, about $300,000 on this program. I have a board of directors, and we're 100% funded by the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and Sport. So I have to beg for every dollar that I want to put into this program, for brochures, for website, for social media, every part of it, but it's worth it. So there is funding support out there. Look for partners like service clubs. I know the RTO region that you're in, Ontario Highlands, they have a partnership allocation program, each RTO does, and it's up to matched funding. So I do product development, I don't know, they do product development as well. So if you've got $500, go to them, fill out an application. Maybe they have a minimum allowance on it, but let's go with $2,500. If you can scrape that together and you go to your RTO and they match your funding, you now have $5,000. So get other partners to chip in. We went to restaurants and said, hey, have you got $25? that you can give us $10, just something to put in to get your business on the website. Didn't have to do it, but if they could, it helped build the pot so that we had that much more money to work with. And then a must read. So I brought 3 copies. So I don't know, who said they absolutely had to have one? Was that Jeff absolutely has to have one? Guys, make him work for it. So if he's gonna get this or let him sign it out, this is Amy's book, Deciding on Trails. It has everything in here you need to know about starting a Trail Town program. So I've got 3 copies there. You can contact Amy if you want more copies, but try them as just signing them out. Let people read it, pull the information from it you need, and bring it back and share it for the next person. So, and that's basically it in a nutshell. Any questions on Trail Town programs? Rob and duplicate from me, go ahead. I did it from someone else, so you're welcome to check out our website. Richard.
What were your first movers, like your grassroots, like who were your like 20% champions?
Who were my champions?
Yeah.
Trail users.
Trail users.
First and foremost, because, and our trail, we don't focus just on boats. Might be a water trail, but that's not our main focus. So because people cycle in our region, people hike in our region. So motorcycles come into our region. So the waterway is the trail, but there's different modes of transportation. That was one thing that our board of directors said, you're limiting yourself if you're just looking at boaters. And I said, but we're not. So we're looking at, but it was trail users and people, start with the community champions. Yes?
I'm wondering, where the leadership comes from. We have a whole bunch of jurisdictions involved as we think about the Ottawa Valley Recreation Trail or the Algonquin Trail, however you want to call it. There's a bunch of different jurisdictions, businesses, organizations.
Stand up.
Where would the leadership come from to pull a program like yours together?
Right. So where does the leadership come from to pull a program together is what he's asking. What we did is we went into each of those 9 communities and we asked if there were any committees that would like to be set up, and we looked for a co-chairs on the committee, so all of the work didn't fall on one person. Some of the communities had 4 people, 2 co-chairs. We worked with them, so we weren't working with a multitude of people, we were working with under 20 people.
Who was we? Who started it?
The RTO. Yep, so you've got this group here. If they're going to be the lead on it, so you sort of want to define what role. Are they going to develop it? Are they going to communicate it? Are they going to be the facilitators of it? But each of us, so we took the lead on, we own the program, and then we went with committees in each of the communities because we wanted to make sure, again, ground up. So we went to them and said, what do you think about this? And got their buy-in, and they helped push it out to the service clubs and residents, and yeah, so far, I don't want to jinx myself, so far it's working well.
Actually, I want to just
Sure.
Just to add into what she's saying, to sort of answer your question, you look for the leadership of this program. I'm looking at this room and I see the leadership in this program in this room. It's one of the reasons why we try to bring people together. Folks that organize this, we're a bunch of volunteers, and if you looked at us, none of us are exactly spring chickens. So if your expectation is that we're going to move this forward, think again about that one. The folks that are going to move this forward are the folks in the room. And if you look at this idea and you buy into it, and we'll get into this more in the afternoon session, we hope that you can walk out of here today with some ideas to how we move it forward. As I said, you're not going to find a better collection of potential leaders for this than what I'm looking at right now.
Thanks, Bob. Brenda, a couple of things of note that I saw in your presentation. It really excited me, actually. My career was as an asset-based community developer. So in this exercise that we've done here that's not finished, I want you to keep adding to the wall. You can't build something from nothing. You have to build from what you've got. And I think we've got a whole lot. So keep adding to that wall. The other thing that I've been saying to people for years is, I'm gonna go and do that gap trail one of these days. And today, you're here to be publicly say that I'm gonna put a note on the wall there, that I'm gonna go and do that, and I would like you all to come with me. So, if you're interested at some point in doing the Great Allegheny Passage, I'll have a sheet on the wall and put your name on it, and we'll start a conversation, and maybe somebody has a bus, Joe Kowalski, and we could go down there, I'm not sure. But I think that was a pivotal thing that we did, and I just like the idea of going down there, so I'm going, so come with me. Brenda, thank you. Please stick around.